Today on the Mile High Sports Symposium, we're going to do a look at the Nuggets and Avs buy and sell on some key points on the teams. We're also going to talk a little bit about Jonathan Cooper, what's going on with him, and we're going to have a game to test the knowledge of these fine gentlemen, Chris and the doctor. But you'll have to stick with us to watch all that, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Yo, welcome to the show. Let me set the scene. Mile High Sports Symposium, living the dream. Broncos in the house with that orange and blue. Nuggets making moves, watch that altitude crew. Avalanche bringing ice, check the skills they display. Rocky swinging bats, ready for on gameplay. Rapids in the mix, kicking it with style. Buffs bring the heat, put the rivals on trial. Top Chris and JT, they got the scoop. Give Mile High vibes, feel that energy rise. Sports on the menu, watch the crowd mesmerize. From football to hockey, we're taking it higher. Join the celebration, feel that sports desire.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mile High Sports Symposium. I am one of your hosts, JT Matthews, here with my other hosts, Chris Whitwright and the doctor, Nicholas Manning. Boys, happy Wednesday. We're here to talk sports. It is hot today. I think the last few Wednesdays has been pretty rainy.
Yep.
But I don't know if we're past it, but today it looks like we may have a little bit of a summer on the horizon.
That's correct. That is.
I don't know how I feel about it though. I like cold weather. I like the warm weather. I get tired of the cold weather at some point, and then I like the warm weather, but I like it for like 2 weeks, and then I'm like, all right, I can go back to fall.
Yeah, I'm a fat kid. Fat kids do not like the heat. So.
Same bro. Just sweating all day.
Right.
I
wake up sweating.
I don't have hair, and so I don't like the hot because nothing keeps the sweat off my face. I just don't like the extremes. You know, like I like the fluctuation. That's why I've always loved Colorado's, because it never stays one way for too long, and so it's usually like you don't get totally sick of it. I've been inside, sadly, most of the day today. I'm going to get out here a little bit, but I am not tired of the warmth yet because I haven't really got to enjoy it.
Yeah, I get to play some basketball this evening, so I'm happy about that. It's been rained out the last couple of weeks, so I've been a little bit bummed. So I'm excited to get out there. And today seems like it'll be good. I know the wind, it could be a little bit windy, so I'm a little bit worried about that, you know, being a pure jump shooter as I am.
Make it rain.
Yeah, exactly. Not that kind of rain. But yeah, no, it's good to have some nice weather finally. I think we're just going to jump in. I know Chris wants to lead us off. He's got some updates in the world of football, not American football, but, well, some of it's American, I suppose.
Yeah, in the interest of being the Mile High Sports Symposium, where we actually get to talk about the Rapids and the Summit, I just wanted to give a quick update real quick on where those two teams are at. Unfortunately, the Rapids, we'll start off with kind of the poor. The Rapids are really struggling. They took a downturn last year, and they are continuing to struggle because, they traded a lot of their best players away, and they have a new system that has come in, so they have a new coach. So they're kind of rebuilding, aka like the Colorado Rockies. They're just kind of rebuilding. So we're looking for progress, and hopefully they'll be a little bit better at the end of the season. But you've got some playing there out at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. So go support them if you get a minute. The Summit are surprisingly feisty, which is awesome. Yeah. They are getting it done with Melissa Kostler. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She's the German forward that leads us in scoring, which is very cool. And they don't even have their best player yet, Lindsay Heaps. I believe I got that right.
Yeah, she's out with the national team.
Yeah, she's with the national team. She's a Golden and Colorado native. She plays in Europe, but will be joining us after the World Cup, I believe. So they don't even have the best player, and they're being pretty feisty. Still, coming along because it's a expansion season, but they're showing some fight, and I think that's very cool that we can support both teams.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we got World Cup coming up on tomorrow, right?
Yep,
tomorrow. I think first the U.S. game is Friday.
It is. So they have the United States men's team. They play Panama on Friday. So that'll be good. Familiar cast there. We've played them before. So then we have Australia, and then we have Turkey. So I think Turkey is probably the best team that we faced in our group stage. This is also the first year that they've expanded the field, so there's a lot more groups. So it's going to get way more interesting. So
yeah, and it's probably the best draw that the Americans have had in a while. It's what happens when you're like the not good team.
Yep,
you make the tournament. You're the Cinderella team for the NCAA tournament. It's like, oh, you got to go through 1 seed, 2 year. Oh yeah, that's because we're not good. The Summit top 10 in National Women's Professional Soccer. So not overly but as an expansion team and without their, like you said, their top player, it's pretty dope. The Rapids, I feel like, to be honest with you, the Rapids are kind of the Rockies now, in the sense of yesteryear's success is not really found, grasping for straws,
a lot of turnover though. I mean, they lost a ton of their players and they got a new system, so kind of to be expected. This is kind of
it is, but good teams don't lose good players, so
that is also true.
Yeah, if and I don't know what the cap situation is there, but I would hope that the Cronkies could afford good contracts. I mean, they can't afford to pay Chris Marlowe, so
right.
Too soon. If you guys haven't seen the Chris Marlowe and Scott Hastings will not be returning to the booth for the Nuggets the upcoming season. They're going to go in a different direction, so that got announced today.
I'm guessing, I don't know if they haven't said who, but I'm guessing Wingy will be one of the primary.
Yeah, she's been in the wings for a bit, but I'm a little shocked a little bit about Chris Marlowe. It's been 20 plus years.
Yeah, he's been there a long time. But my favorite thing about Chris Marlowe, we get him during the Olympics for beach volleyball. That always makes me so happy.
Oh, yeah.
I love hearing
he loves volleyball. It's not even fake. He loves it.
Oh, he loves it, man. It's so much fun. And he knows, he's well versed,
Yeah. And, I think his kids played volleyball. I think.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That. He's into it. Which is fun. Yeah, because you typecast a guy, right? It's probably just, he's that middle school basketball coach.
Yeah.
Oh no, I actually so much more to him. Oh geez. No, didn't know.
All right. Moving along to Broncos update. So Nick, why don't you lead us off with
so over the weekend, Jonathan Cooper, JT's boy, went animalistic.
I want that right now. But.
No, I'm just kidding. I do think it's important. So I would call myself a social justice advocate.
Yeah,
and feel pretty confident in there. I do think with media buzz and trying to be the first or clicks or all that stuff, there's some things circulating that they really weren't grounded in truth or grounded in a little bit of truth and taken off. So from all accounts, Cooper got in an altercation, verbal altercation with his girlfriend. She accused him of cheating, took his phone. He tried to get his phone back. That's where the stories differ a little bit. She says he choked her. He says he grabbed her arms to get the phone back, and then he bit it because she broke his phone. So no, he didn't eat the phone. Not eat the phone, okay? You're probably the same people that thought that immigrants ate cats and dogs and they're stop it, okay? That said, as somebody who would use his teeth to carry a soda, which I get a lot of grief for, I've been known to do that kind of stuff. I would not bite a phone to break it. Like, that's pretty significant.
Yeah.
And, from all the things that I've ever heard about Cooper, is he's pretty grounded. Seems like a good dude. Yep. You also, when you are a professional football player, especially among all of them, you have to be a little bit crazy to play that sport. Like, you got to be a little wrong to like enjoy hitting someone and getting hit. Like, you got to like it. And then, it's hard to turn that off. It's hard to like be that kind of guy. And then you get home and you're a doormat. Like, that doesn't work either. And so that's a really hard line for guys, especially the guys that play up front, I think, or, thrive on physicality. And so you never know what people are fighting and who knows what's going on. Obviously, that relationship is toxic AF. But both were charged.
Yep.
He had 2 domestic enhancers on there. I would assume, to be honest with you, this is where this speculation for sure is that both will get thrown out or offered a significant plea deal. Her injuries, per the medical professionals and the police on site, were not consistent with someone that was choked and dragged and all that stuff like she had claimed. However, breaking someone's phone is illegal. If it is a newer phone, it's over $400. That's a felony, like, no matter what you value a phone to be. And in the end, like, you put yourself in a ridiculous situation and let it escalate physically when you're 260 pounds. Like, either way, you didn't make a good decision. And it's hard because I like Cooper, and I think he brings like toughness and leadership, but he did it, in my opinion, or at least it was perceived in a way of like controlled aggression. It's hard to look at a guy then it's like, oh geez, man, like, you're not who we thought you were. Like, that stuff will creep in, especially within a group dynamic. And what I think is important for us to recognize is that the Broncos have strong women leadership. You got Klein, you have Bolton Penner, you got Condoleezza Rice, you got some people, I think, who will put appropriate pressure on the organization to stand on business and ethics and morale. And so I don't know that Cooper would have anything happen to him, especially if the league kind of tosses it out. I also would not be shocked if, as this drags on, he doesn't play another game for the Broncos again. And I don't know how I feel about it. Right? Like, part of me is like,
He just signed an extension. Yeah. Sorry.
Like 2 years ago. Yeah. But I mean, they ate Russ's money. You know what I mean? Like, this is a group that can't afford to get out of a thing to send a precedent, because the Broncos haven't gotten a lot of trouble lately. This hasn't been, kind of after Vance, really. Like, this has been a team that's really kind of pushed to get there. And then when this current regime came in, I think a focus was on getting the right guys. Look at all of their draft classes. Like, they are intentionally getting captains and leaders. And that's intentional. So partly, hopefully, because of the traits, but also the traits to not do stupid stuff. And when you are a guy who didn't really contribute over the last like 6 weeks when it comes to the stat line, and there's not a lot of margin, I think, right? Like, people were looking at bringing Von Miller back anyway, right? Like, those calls were happening all over the place. And so it's of note. I think we all have to play it out. The trial is supposed to begin. He's pled not guilty. It's supposed to begin on the 22nd of July, which means it probably would be over by training camp starting. So we'll know before the whistle goes. But it'll be just interesting to see how the team responds and how do the players respond to that, right? Like, what's the boundary that's going to be set by leadership, and how are the rest of the team going to follow it? Right? It's just one of those like, oh, nothing bad happened to Coop. Like, did the reins get up a little bit, or does Sean Payton kind of keep his foot on the floorboard and keep pressing forward? And nope, we're not going to let this seep into our locker room. I hope for Cooper's sake he gets some help, gets a healthy relationship, and checks his teeth. But it definitely is worrisome, and I think something for sure for us to note. When you got Myles Garrett going, you got like
Yeah.
There's like this natural pressure to keep up with the Joneses, and then the guy that you're banking on. One reason why you probably weren't in any sweepstakes for Myles Garrett, there wouldn't have been, is because you have Cooper and you feel really good about that. Man, if it's that fragile, bro, that you can't keep your crap together because she took your phone, maybe we need to go a different direction.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. From a football standpoint, for some reason he misses time or he's no longer with the team. That does create potentially a hole in that starting front. And so, they talked a lot about moving Jonah Ellis to the middle. Does that mean he comes back outside?
Yes, he is back out.
Yeah. What does that mean for
that specifically?
Sanders?
Sanders stays outside. This is all stuff that Peyton said, and I think you throw your stuff at it. If it's 1 or 2 games or something like that, I think they're gonna be fine. But if he's gone, that's a significant cap reservation that you've made, right, for a player of that caliber. The depth doesn't look that great if you start getting into it early, and especially if it's a long period of time, and especially if you don't have a good feeling about the why.
Yeah,
it's not like he sprained his ankle.
Yeah, and it puts a lot of pressure on those guys that are backup inside linebackers now, with that position kind of in flux. There's a lot of young guys, a lot of untested guys. You got, Kareem Reed and Red Murdoch and Jordan Turner and these guys that we like, but, they haven't started, and especially in a high caliber NFL defense. It does create, a potential void in that defense that is a highly touted unit. And so it'll be interesting to see if they end up making any moves, if they do end up needing to make any moves. It's a bummer overall for sure. Just to see that happen, as a fan of the team, but also just, people putting themselves in really terrible positions and, things that could be easily avoided, but obviously if people weren't making the correct choices or in the right frame of mind. So,
well, I think, if they decide, and I don't want to speculate too much on this because, again, in this country, it is innocent until proven guilty. So we'll figure that out and let it play out. But if they decide to move on from Jonathan Cooper, the free agents that are still available, guys like Hassan Reddick, Leonard Floyd, Joey Bosa are all out there. Even, Von Miller.
Jordan.
Yep, Von Miller or Cam Jordan. I mean, it's not the worst I've ever seen. So, again, if you can get a player that maybe contributes, but again, we'll see how it plays out. As Nick said, the trial's on the 22nd. So it's well before, we have to start playing real football. So we got time.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. Thankfully, we'll let the process play itself out. And, I think there's a lot of hope that there's some young guys waiting in the wings too. So bank on player development, that sort of thing too. But in the meantime, let's transition. We're going to talk. Let's start with the Avs. We're going to do some buy or sell. That's our first buy.
I think we wanted to brand this as the Mile High market. So we're going to be doing some buy sell scenarios. We're going to start with the Avs as JT said. So, and I'll get your feedback on kind of what you guys think. So my first one for the Avs, the buy or sell this statement. So it's just statements I'm going to make about the team. You can buy or sell, little explanation why. So first one is the Avalanche win the Cup within the next 2 seasons. Buy or sell?
I'll buy.
Why?
I do think that even with McFarland gone, Joe Sakic in the driver's seat for now, I think they'll continue to be aggressive. They've shown that they're willing to be aggressive. If there's guys they like, they'll go get them. And I still think that, Nathan McKinnon is, if he's not the best player in the world, he's first or second or third best player in the world. Cale Makar is probably the best defenseman in the NHL. I think that there are some holes that were brought to light, in this last playoff run. But I think that the way that the team's formed, just another year of continuity with some of those guys like Natchez who are fairly new, Nelson. We'll see what happens with those guys. But I think they're still on the short list of contenders, even going into next year as they stand now. So I'll buy.
Okay. Go ahead, Nick.
I like it. My first immediate was no, was sell. Just, I think it's recency. I don't know, or maybe that's like the most that I feel
You're
right now.
Do you? Can I ask? Because I know we've talked a lot about Bednar. Is Bednar still being there a factor for you?
No, like Betsy not being here isn't it? I don't know. I worry, like, I don't know if this team has the makeup. That's my worry for sure. That said, it's like if I had to put money on it, not if I have to, if I got to.
Brennan Sorsby.
Yeah. I think that they're a good bet. I don't. No, I'm gonna sell. Talk myself into it, and at the current moment, obviously, I always I can. I think I'm change my mind. But.
For my 2 cents, I'm going to buy it for a lot of the reasons JT said. I think they're a top 3 roster in the NHL at the moment. They still have a pretty good coach. Western Conference Finals notwithstanding, but still have a pretty good coach and a generally aggressive front office. So for those reasons, I'm going to buy it. Oh, and by the way, we are remiss saying congratulations to Gabriel Landeskog winning the Masters and the Messier trophies. So congratulations to the captain. Sell, all the guys are getting old. You're not wrong. Not wrong.
I mean, McKinnon will be 31 next season. So
yep, not wrong. All right, next one. Joe Sakic is still the GM on opening night this coming season.
Where'd we go? Oh, there we are. I'm like, where'd we go? I mean, I think so. I think I'll buy. Part of it's just I think the Cronkies are a bit cheap, and I think that means hiring another guy if they think that they've got a guy in the room that can do the job as the operations and GM. I don't know why they wouldn't just let him do it. Unfortunately, that's kind of the point for me is just that the Cronkies don't want to spend money on front office or expensive coaching hires, and so they'll to me it seems like they'll stick to their guns.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm really down on the Cronkies. It just seems it just penny pinching as a billionaire just it gets me. I mean that's how you get your billions is you find the most efficient way to not spend your money as possible. So yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go with JT on this one.
I'm gonna sell this, and the reason is because I think they've got a couple candidates in the building already that they could easily slide into the job. So I'll sell it for that reason only. That they probably go into the offseason with Joe Sakic making all the calls, all the personnel moves and whatever, and then call it September. They say, this guy who's an internal candidate is going to be our guy.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the way that they would do it, so that they don't have to go.
I don't expect them to go outside and make a big search and all that stuff. So, but I will sell it.
I can see that.
Next one. This roster needs an agitator more than another scorer. So somebody to make the other team's life miserable.
You want to go the first?
I would say sell. I don't know if they have to be an agitator, but they definitely need somebody that wins with grit. So I guess just trying to play the game right. I would buy with that perspective. I think that they have to have guys that don't get shook. I don't necessarily need them to make the other guys do all but just that they knock you down, you smile at them a little bit, things like that, where you are the toughest guy on the ice all the time. Like, you know, like that, just that part, just the inherent toughness of it. I don't know that I got to go like cheap shot level, but I also wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that they don't need more skill. I don't think that that's the problem. I think it's fortitude.
I agree. I think, we've seen it a few times with the Avs in the playoffs, is that the teams that they lose to are the grittier team, the team that can slow down the pace, the team that can grind out a game. I think the speed game is legit. I think that they have a lot of success with that. And I don't think that they'll be moving away from that per se, just because of the personnel that you have. But I do think they need defensemen that are physical. I think Taves and Makar are a great first line pair, but then I think after that, you need guys who are solid, from a technical standpoint, and can eliminate guys from plays, that can erase a guy off the puck, just guys that can are people movers in a way, the Nikita Zadorov types that, if you need someone to go stand up for your guy, it's not going to be Gabe at whatever age he's at now. I don't think you want him in that position with his injury history. You need someone who can be that guy. And I think that is something that they're missing. So I guess I'm buying on that point.
Okay. I'm buying as well. I think, and for no other point than I think we already have, skill player that I would like something to like balance it out. And I think JT is 100% right, where a lot of times we seem to come up against these grittier teams in the playoffs and we just struggle. So grittier.
You were right, GT.
We'll be okay with it.
Right.
Thank you.
You're right, GT. So, I didn't say that at all.
Next one. The Avs land a top 6 addition this summer. So somebody who starts on the first top 2 lines.
So,
Nick is a sell. Why?
Again, that's not really where they need it. I think at least the top 6 when you look at the forwards. So I think they have grit. They have some toughness with Landy, with Brock, with Mac, even Letton. I think Lettinen is a little underrated. Val. Yeah. I think it's really like on the power play and on the penalty kill. So, but no, I like in terms of, I don't think the top 6 gets changed up. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's something new shiny toy, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I tend to agree just from a salary standpoint too. I mean, they'd have to move off of someone. They might be able to move off of like a Brock Nelson, someone like that, and bring someone else in. But you're kind of swapping parts, and maybe that's something they will do. But I think, you've got a lot tied up in these guys, and I think that ultimately, as nice as it would be to make another big acquisition, and I think there's potential. I think there's potential out there to make a trade if you really want to bolster the back end, or if you want to kind of, figure out the goaltending revolving door. I think there's options out there, but I kind of think, you've got your core, and I think it's the auxiliary pieces that are going to get retooled.
I'm going to sell as well for kind of the same reasons as y'all laid out. I don't think they have a ton of flexibility. Although I think it's interesting, like maybe you sell high on like a Wedgwood and say, okay, we're going to package Wedgwood and one of these other players and say, okay, we're going to go get a winger who's a little grittier. So I think that's fun to think about. But yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I'd love it, to be honest. Sometimes like change for change's sake isn't bad. I don't think you fix everything, but there might be a team that's missing a Devon Taves, and like that kind of skill on the D line, and they have a guy, or they have too many big goon defensemen, and they're the same caliber, they just win in different ways. Sure. Where there's like a win-win. I think that those are options. I don't know, as Joe put this team together, essentially, right? Like most of the guys that are here that are good, it's because of Joe, at least for a big chunk of it. And so one that I think would domino, that I think would be really interesting, is if they moved on from Val. His production's slipped. I don't think he's aging as well as maybe they thought he would with that contract. And now it's not as atrocious. Plus, he's put together a couple of seasons of clean,
Yeah.
Clean living-ish or whatever. And so maybe that's a guy that you can move on from, a pretty good size contract, but not overwhelming, get you back something that really helps bolster, that. But yeah, I think the team really is going to look a lot like it does, and they just got to play better.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to do this last one is McKinnon's scoreless Western Conference Finals was a trend, not a fluke. So you're buying whether it's a trend or it was just a fluke.
I'll sell. I don't think it's a trend. I think that at some point they kind of quit, as a team. I don't think it's a McKinnon issue per se.
Okay.
I still think that McKinnon's a gamer. I think we've seen them win a cup. There's great players in this league that have never won a cup still. And I think that when you need something, you can count on them. I mean, we saw that in the series against the Wild. I think it was a tough matchup, and I think that they beat themselves a little bit. Obviously, credit to Vegas, they're a good team, but there's no reason that team shouldn't have advanced. And I think they've got to look themselves in the mirror. But I think McKinnon, he seems to take those things personally. So we'll see what happens if it's a growth moment or not. But I tend to, he's not over the hill or anything at this point. He's still in his prime, and I think he'll continue to play in his prime.
Yeah, I think just for the sake, Nathan McKinnon over 108, if my math's right. Playoff games, he 62 goals, 78 assists, a plus minus of 43.
Is that good?
108 games, which is pretty good.
I've heard it's good.
I've heard it's good. But he, let me see, where is it at? But his points per game or points per playoff game, he's fourth all time. And so he's a really good player who, when they focus on him, other guys didn't step up. And so he was never able to get the space that he needed to be able to do what he does because he was a focal point and no one else rose to the occasion. So I'm going to side with Mac here and say that this was an instance, not a trend.
And I wholeheartedly agree. So sell this to the million.
Dang.
All right. Now let's do a little Mile High market with the Nugs. So this one will be interesting for me. So first one is the –
hold on. Wait. Before we do.
Oh, yes, of course.
Before we do. We always got to remind you that maybe, just maybe, go subscribe, follow the subscribe. Go follow us on the socials, whether that's Facebook, Orange and Blue Network over there on YouTube. You can follow Mile High Sports Symposium on YouTube, on X, Orange and Blue Network on YouTube, on X, all the good stuff when you can. And then subscribe, and comment for the algorithm because we appreciate it and all those things. And just in case you're a little tired, like me, who drove up to his son's campsite the last 3 days there and back because got to contribute as a dad. I'm tired. It's not something that the good folks at Dubby can't fix. Get you some wonderful energy, clean energy, no sugars, no calories, no stuff you can't pronounce. Again, if you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your body. And you can get 10% off using our promo code OBN10 at checkout. 10% off. Orange and Blue Network, 10%, or Bounty X. So just whatever, remember it, do what you got to do. And
yes,
if you need more sports in your life, JT has something for you.
Yep, we got shows around the clock all week. Monday and Fridays, 11 a.m. You got Orange and Blue Blitz. Mondays at 7, you've got Bronco Bros. Nothing rhymes with the Orange and Blues. Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Ourselves, of course, 2:30s-ish on Wednesdays. Also, tonight, Broncos Talk, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mile High Outcast, Thursday, 7 p.m. Our Spanish Broncos coverage show, Friday night, 6 p.m. Viva Las Broncos. Then you've got breaking news pregame play-by-play, post-game, and every game day. We've got Fresh Squeeze, Get Buck, the Bucking Booth, and Buck Your Feelings. So lots of Broncos coverage, especially on the Orange and Blue Network. So if you're a Broncos fan, which I assume most of you are, hop in social media, interact with these guys, hop into the shows, get in the chat. We love interacting with you guys. So do all the other hosts on the network. So give them some love, please.
Yeah.
All righty.
And with that, we're back to the Mile High Market.
To the Nugs.
Now serving
the Nugs.
Let's go, Nuggies.
Yep. All righty. So the first Nuggets question: buy or sell? The Nuggets will reach the Western Conference Finals next season.
So,
Oy, man,
Looks like
coming out hot.
Yep.
yeah, I mean, no. I mean, look what you're seeing with. I don't know, man. Are they better than the Knicks?
I know it's hard,
When
man.
I've said that, like, the Knicks are hanging in and leading the finals against a far superior athletic team, but they got grit, and I don't know if Denver can get there.
Yeah,
And I think that the Knicks are showing, they have some really solid defenders, a couple of elite defenders, which I don't think we can say with any certainty at this point in time anyone on the Nuggets is an elite defender. So I think that that's the difference. So just because the game, they were just going off the hip, I'd say no. Really just seeing how daunting right now cracking the top 4 in the NBA is. I don't think they will see that success, and hope I'm wrong.
yeah. I'm a big Nuggets fan. I still think I'm gonna sell for now. I mean, OKC is OKC. You haven't shown that you can beat them in a series. The Spurs are obviously have beaten OKC, are in the finals right now. That's a team that's going to be good for a long time. They're a young team. As they stand right now, I would say no. The Nuggets would have to face one of those two teams, and I don't know that their chances are very good. However, I do still believe in the core of this team. So, I'm not saying it's impossible, but if I had to put money on it or I had to buy stock in it, I'd probably sell.
Yeah, I'm kind of a hard sell. I think you have two ascending teams in the Western Conference, the OKC and the Spurs. And, this team did not show the grit, like Nick said, to beat the Timberwolves in a 7-game series. Like, you just got run by them. So I'm going to sell it. We'll just kind of see how this goes. I think some major changes need to happen if the Nuggets are if that's the goal for the Nuggets. So, but I'm going to sell it. Next one, Christian Brown bounces back next year. And I have defined bounces back.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Plays 70 games and scores 15 points per game, kind of like the player he was 2 seasons ago, not last year.
Oh, man. You know what? This might influence the first question. If he bounces back to that level of it, that changes, I think, a lot. You know what? I'm going to say, yeah. I think he's a hard worker. I think he wants to be great. He's never really failed, I think, especially on the team success. And I think him being the liability, he seems like a guy that takes that serious and isn't just happy getting to the show. I think he looks at himself as a plus player in this league, and so I bet he'll be closer to those numbers than he was to where he was at this year. This year was pretty abysmal, so I'm glad you had the qualifier on it, because I would have said, "Geez, man, if he doesn't crap his pants on the court, I'll take it."
Yeah.
Metaphorically, Christian, you don't call I know, I'm just doing the thing. But you know what? I think that it is more likely that it does. So I would buy. And then if he does, depending on how the roster shakes out a little bit, maybe it might be my answer changes for the first one.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'll buy. It's not as, I don't feel strongly about it, but I do think that this is kind of a make or break opportunity for him. This year will kind of tell a lot about the projection of him as a starter in this league. Especially for a good to very good NBA team. I think if he doesn't show that he can either be elite on the defensive end as an on-the-ball defender, or just be a consistent scorer in that offense, then they need to start talking about why he's there as the starter in the first place. And not that I love Christian. I think when he came in, he offered a lot of things that the Broncos didn't the Nuggets didn't have. Just from a defensive standpoint and energy standpoint, he's good cutting off the ball. He seemed to play well with Jokic. That left a little bit. And so I think that this is his opportunity to kind of, show that he proved that he deserves to be in that starting unit. So I'll buy, but I'm not incredibly confident, but I think that this is his chance to cement himself in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I'm going to buy similar reasons to you guys. I think for sure he plays more than 70 games. I think the injuries really hurt him this year. Whether he scores 15 points again, I think is a little generous. Sure. And I'm the one who came up with the question. So, yeah, I get that it's generous, but I think they need to figure out how to get him cutting, like JT said, to the basket rather than standing in a corner, because that's really – even in college, he really struggled with that. Like, get him with the ball in his hands going downhill is where he is most successful.
100%.
So, all right, next one. Peyton Watson is worth the contract, north of $20 million. Not that's what he's going to get. He's worth that.
Oh, that's good.
I'll buy that.
Okay.
I'll buy that. I think he is. I think he, especially for this team, I think for a lot of teams, but especially this team that kind of lacks any real rim protection at this point, and is definitely on the slim side of athleticism. I think that he brings something that this team doesn't have inherently. I think he is a guy that showed this year can be a scorer and can be someone you can count on, even if it's not necessarily in a playoff series during the regular season, to take some of the burden off the rest of the other guys. I think he has potential to show up in the playoffs as well. He just hasn't had the opportunity yet. You just got to stay healthy. That's part of it. He seems to have these nagging injuries a lot. There's definitely some risk there, but I think he's worth it. And assuming it's not too much higher than 20 mil a year, I would buy that.
Nick?
Yeah, I'd say just knowing the NBA, I think he's shown enough that if he got a $20 million a year contract, I would say, that fits. While recognizing that the sample size to pay that was not very big. But I think the NBA is thirsty for high traits talent, and to think that he, at the age of, I think he's 23 now, right?
Yeah, he's young.
That he didn't figure it out, and so injuries be danged. If he can figure it out, I think he's going to be a really good player. And if it were 4 years, 80 million, 5 years, 100 million, and the Nuggets, or if he leaves for that deal, as a fan, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a lot for a guy that's really contributed at a high level for half a season. It was a pretty incredible half a season, pretty efficient, and he offers, a young Aaron Gordon kind of player that can shoot, facilitate, plays great defense, rebounds, long, lean. You just don't have a lot of athletes like that on this team. So if he got that deal, I would say even what Christian's deal was, if he gets
25. Yeah.
Yep. I'd be like, yep. You do that in a heartbeat, eat the coin. But I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire, and so I don't have to worry about pinching my pennies when it comes to those kind of things, because I wouldn't be in the position.
I'm not even 100 there. It's fine.
I mean, I could barely afford the air.
All right. I am actually going to sell it, and I'm happy, this bouncing back and blowing up on my face, but I think you guys outlined it perfectly with it's a small sample size. He's had nagging injuries most of his career, which kind of sucks. I think Peyton Watson, I think your point, and I believe it was Nick, about, or no, it might have been JT, about the Nuggets needing that skill set of, long, lean defender, can score a little bit, all that stuff is not untrue, but I think it's because the Nuggets are thirsty for those traits and not the NBA. The NBA might go, we can find guys like that. So I'm going to say no, only for those reasons. Although I will talk out the other side of my mouth, I think he's absolutely a priority this offseason. Yeah. So because the Nuggets are so thirsty for those traits.
Yep. Well, I think the NBA still sees a lot of value in 3-and-D guys. Mm-hmm. And I think he, at least from the corners, I mean, really last year he shot the 3-ball well, just generally. If you can get him in the corner and he can knock down some threes, even, on a team that's, if it's not the Nuggets.
You muted yourself, sir.
I don't know how that happened. I didn't touch anything. I was just saying, I think that it's basically just that it's a valuable skill set. I think someone will pay a lot for it, and I just worry that it'll be too rich for the Cronkies.
Yep.
But he is a restricted free agent.
So last year he shot 41% from three.
Yeah.
73%
the first time he's done it, right?
It is last year. Well, yeah. But last year he shot 35%. His rookie year he shot 42%. Okay. But he played 23 games. So I mean, he was a 2-point a game scorer in college. So it's like for real, like sample size is not large for him.
Yep.
And the way that he came onto the scene was because there were absence of. I think he kind of fell back to earth a little bit when everyone was there. And so I think you got to have a plan for how you're going to maximize his minutes. Paying him $20 million to be the player he was last year would be asinine. Paying him $20+ million to get the player that you got this year, I think would be a steal. If there's only one basketball, you got Jamal and you got Jokic. And so how are you going to make sure that he has the ball, the opportunity to score enough to justify that deal? Because, he was an extremely efficient scorer. Yep. And so he's not really great when it comes to playmaking in terms of assists, but he's also 23. Could he be a primary ball handler? You split that up a little bit with.
It seems like, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know, because especially on this team, I don't think he's going to get that opportunity to be like, right. You're not going to take the ball out of Jamal's hands or Jokic's hands. So, and even Aaron Gordon shows some playmaking chops. So
my opinion. If that's not the case, then it's sign and trade. Yep. Like if you're not going to create room for him, it's like Zeke Naji. Like, why did you sign Zeke? Because he never got off the bench. Like, what are we doing?
100%.
What are we doing? 100%. Have a plan for the guy. But all right.
All right.
Sorry, P-Dub. Hopefully you are rich.
Yep. And he will be.
He will be.
So next one is trading Cam Johnson's expiring deal is better than keeping him.
I got a quick answer. I sell. Yeah. I think that probably if we're talking about this year, yes, I think that might be true. I think that if you wait a year, he's got a $21 million expiring contract. I think that's really valuable for a team that is really strapped for cap space. Yep. I know you're in the Jokic period, but I think you brought these guys in thinking that you can win with them. I think the more that I kind of sit with it and do all these exercises to try and make this roster better, there's not a lot you can do. And so I think that, it may be a year where you have to run it back and see what you have and then, assess again in the offseason. So I think having that expiring contract is more valuable right now than it is to deal it.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree. I think all those are great. I think the finger's got to be on the trigger, though.
Yeah.
It's only valuable if you can trade it before the deadline, because if you don't, then then it's not. But I also think he's a better player than we saw last year. It didn't click fast enough and for sustained enough. I think because I would bank on him being a better player for the Nuggets. Trading that, especially if Peyton Watson goes out there and gets 30, and you're not going to do that. Cam Johnson at 20 is he's a good player he's cheaper than Christian Brown and has accomplished more and been a better player longer. So I would do that, but it's only valuable if you still got leverage. And once that trade deadline goes, and really, to be honest, probably even like the beginning of the season, like someone might, but I don't know that they're going to take him because of his expiring time. Well, I guess a rebuilding team. So I think he's more valuable to you right now than he is anywhere else if you can leverage that contract. So caveated for me.
Yeah, I think JT nailed it. Unfortunately, I think Cam Johnson's value is at an all-time low. So I don't think you're going to get anything better than him. So you might as well just run it back and maybe, he gets hot for 2 months and you can deal him at the deadline for something. And I think that's the reasonable expectation. So I'm buying that as well. As his expiring deal is better now, or is better to keep him than deal him away.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Jokic wins another MVP.
I think I'll sell. I think he's capable. Obviously, I think he's still the best basketball player in the world. I just think that it's a media award. First of all, I think there's guys in the media that are going to get more love. If your center averages a triple-double, can't win an MVP, then I don't know how you what you can do. So that's kind of my feel on it. Obviously, I'm biased. I think he's great. I think he should have won it last year, but that's not how the award works. So,
yeah, I don't think he will either. I think the NBA got their youth movement with guys that are more marketable for the game, which is a travesty. But I think his window of being received as appropriately as he has, I think has shifted. I think you'll start to see Victor. You'll start to see guys like that start really getting. They already have gotten it, but yeah, I think it'll be the last, or we've seen the last of it.
Yeah, I'm JT. I think nailed it. Man goes out and averages a triple double and can't get the MVP, and I don't know what else you can do with that.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, I don't know what else you can do with that and say.
Yeah.
So, but life's not fair.
Literally nothing.
Here we are.
Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
All right, and that was Mile High Market. So, JT, we have another game.
Yeah, this is the game. It's basically I'm going to give you a decade. We're going to go through the top receivers for each team, and you've got to guess who they are. So I'm going to give you the yardage, and you've got to guess. Whoa, I've never seen this one before.
There we go.
And you've got to guess who the receiver was. This is not just wide receivers; it's pass catchers in general.
Okay.
I think that it's easy to a point, and then I think it starts getting a little tougher, obviously. So we'll just start with the top receiver.
No cheating. No chat GPT.
No chat GPT, nothing. If you know ball, you know ball. Atlanta Falcons with 12,896 yards.
Oh, do we get a year, or is it just?
It's just the decade, 2010 to 2020.
Julio.
Yeah, it's Julio.
It's Julio. Yes.
All right.
Hey, I was like, Julio.
Yeah, and you guys can decide how you want to answer. If you want to collaborate, or if you want individual answers, whatever is up. It's up to you.
I was trying to high five Nick. He was not interested. It's fine.
I did high five. I put it up there. It was up there. You gotta be quick with it.
Number 2, Pittsburgh Steelers, 11,207 yards.
What's the?
Hold on. You said
Same
question
decade.
number 2.
It's all 2010 to 2020.
You said question number 2, not
number
2 for the Steelers.
No, number 2 being the second highest receiver in that decade.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm sorry. It is all the same decade, 2010 to 2020.
Yeah, all the same decade.
Okay.
Hensworth.
Antonio Brown.
Oh, that's probably better, actually. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Oh, yeah. All right. Yep.
Yes, Antonio Brown.
Boom.
Yeah, good call.
With
Hensward was probably he was in the single digits.
yeah.
he was a part of that.
Probably 2000s, 2012.
Yeah.
I would guess so, too.
Good call. Dang, look how much Antonio Brown fell off my.
I know, right?
What a clown.
Man loses his mind.
For sure.
Him and Kanye should make an album. Right, good.
With 10,425 yards for the Arizona Cardinals.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend.
Correct.
Okay, pour one out for Larry Fitz Sr.
This one surprised me a little bit. Indianapolis Colts, 9,360 yards.
From 10 to 19?
10 to 20.
10 to 20.
Yeah, 19.
Is it Dallas?
T.Y. Hilton.
Ooh, that's a better one. T.Y. Hilton.
It is T.Y. Hilton.
Nice
Yep.
job.
Should get this one, at least one of you. Denver Broncos, 9,055 yards.
Demarius.
DT.
Yep, DT. Perfect. Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm offended that just because it's a Broncos, I would not be knowledgeable. How dare you?
Hey, I didn't. I said at least one of you. That left an opportunity for you to also know. Cincinnati Bengals, 8,907 yards.
Chado Jusinko.
Mm-mm.
No. Oh,
I'll say-
AJ Green.
Yeah, AJ Green. That's the answer.
Yeah, AJ Green is correct.
I was thinking TJ Houshmandzadeh had a longer career,
Yeah.
but no, that's not right.
That's true.
Yeah.
But also, I think the
Longer hair.
previous decade just a little bit.
Yeah, they were the same draft class. Yeah.
Number 7, Houston Texans, 8,602 yards.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins. Sorry, I'll try and let you both answer.
Who's better, Andre Johnson or Hopkins? Just a question.
Andre Johnson. I loved Andre Johnson.
Yeah,
He
Andre
was
Johnson.
like
I'll say Andre.
he was one of my favorite receivers.
I'm a little biased, but Andre Johnson.
No, I mean he's built in the lab. There's like a handful of those.
Yeah, he
guys that
was
are
like,
just
if Calvin Johnson wasn't Calvin Johnson, he was Calvin Johnson. So
for sure, right? Yeah.
Tampa Bay Bucks, 8,266 yards.
Mike
10
Evans.
to 20.
Yep, 10 to 20.
Yeah.
I said Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I think he came in 2014, right?
When did it? Manziel.
Yeah, I'll guess Mike
I think
Evans.
he's played for 13 years. You think?
I think so. He was pretty young coming out, if I remember correctly.
That's true. Yeah. Go with.
That's Mike Evans.
Yeah. I was trying to think of I don't know who else would it have been.
Yeah.
Before that, they were terrible.
Yeah.
Detroit Lions, 8,548 yards.
Calvin.
Who else was there? Yeah, it's probably Calvin Johnson. I'll say Calvin.
It's Calvin Johnson. I skipped one to
like
come back to it because I literally just, without looking, I said Calvin Johnson about Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
And then I looked, and the next one was Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. Kansas City Chiefs, 7,881 yards.
Tyreek Hill.
Nice.
Well, I guess it could be. It might be Travis Kelce.
I think it's before them even.
Well,
Would it be Gonzalez or was that too?
wasn't he a Falcon at that time?
By 2010?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I'll say Tyreek Hill. I'll stick with that one because I think he's a little bit older than Travis.
What am I thinking? LSU draft pick, Dwayne Bowe.
Dwayne Bowe. Oh, Dwayne over the rainbow. Yep.
Is that your guess?
Yeah, actually.
It's Travis Kelce.
Dang it.
Been there for a minute.
He has been.
Well, at least one of you
baby
should get
hands.
this one too. Number 11, 7,459 yards for the Dallas Cowboys.
Des Bryant,
Yep, Des Bryant.
who still
Correct.
caught it, by the way.
Yeah, Cartridge.
We'll get to 15. We're at 11, so we'll go quick
right.
through these last ones.
No.
Los Angeles Chargers, 7,379 yards. I guess San Diego Chargers technically.
The guy is still Keenan Allen, I think. He's been there a minute, or he was there a minute.
Yeah. That's his D-Jack, but no, because he was in the singles with us. Yep. Nope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll say Keenan Allen.
That is correct. Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Ball over. Ball
All
no.
knowers. New England Patriots, 7,179 yards.
Troy Brown. Famous two-way player.
MVP, Super Bowl MVP.
Right. I'll say Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
I
Actually,
think that's
right.
probably. Or wait, is this were we being dumb? Is it Gronk? Might be Gronk.
Yeah, let's do Gronk.
Yeah, we'll do Gronk.
It's Gronk.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're being dumb.
I
Two
know we're
more.
overdoing it.
Yeah.
We could get the rest of them
Wes
next
Welker.
week if you want. Two more. Green Bay Packers, 7,160 yards.
Donald Driver.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think Donald Driver.
After Donald Driver.
Ooh. Jordy Nelson?
Devontae Adams? Jordy? Oh, Jordy. Good call.
It is Jordy Nelson.
K-State.
And number 15, the defending Super Bowl champions, Seattle Seahawks, 6,563 yards.
Who was before? Is it Tyler Lockett? I want to say it's or is it Doug Baldwin or something? Might be Doug Baldwin.
Ooh, yeah. I think Doug Baldwin. That's good.
Final answer
Yeah, we'll do Doug Baldwin.
is Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Good job. So
Who did we not get? Yeah. Who did we not get again?
Jordy Nelson.
Yep. The
And
Chiefs.
you overthought Travis Kelce.
That is true. So
Maybe it's just hate the Chiefs so bad. I don't even think about it.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure we got that one wrong.
Yeah. I'm just
For our own credibility.
you're so terrible. I can't even remember it in trivia.
All right, y'all. Well, we appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for those of you who participated in the chat. Sorry if we didn't get to all your comments, but we appreciate you nonetheless. Enjoy this nice weather. Try and get outside a little bit today if you can. But otherwise, be kind to one another. Be safe out there. And if you need a sports prescription, ask a doctor.
From football to hockey, we're taking it higher. Join the celebration, feel that sports desire. So grab your crew, let's hit the show. Mile High Sports Symposium, let the good times flow.